Welcome to the Penny Bloom Podcast. Ain't another place that has got more bombast. Romp past your mom, dad's listening to Tomcats. Talking everything that make you sad. We don't want that. We're here to make you smile. Put your mind at ease. Peace, love, and bloom, and always praise Keanu Reeves. This what we about. This some weeding now. We'll talk until we can't no more, and then we peacing out. Alright, let's go. Penny Bloom Podcast. It's the Penny Bloom Podcast. Penny Bloom Podcast. It's the Penny Bloom Podcast. Penny Bloom Podcast. Penny Bloom Podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome in to the Robertsons on the Penny Bloom Podcast. 'Tis I, Colton Robertson, and I'm joined by my father, Justin Robertson. What's up, Pops?
Hello there.
Rough one today. Rough Sunday. We fell to the Bills.
I mean, we had a good Sunday.
Yeah,
we
we
had
did.
a good Sunday.
I had a really good Sunday, actually. And
Chiefs
frankly,
lost.
the Chiefs losing came as zero surprise to me.
Me too. Like, who would have thought we were going to be undefeated going into it? I mean, you try to keep all that in perspective.
Judging by the way we've played all season, there was never a chance in hell we were going to finish the season undefeated.
And the Bills played a good game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they outplayed us in every facet. The defense has bailed us out a lot this season, and they just didn't. This is like the first time. Like I read somewhere, it's like the first time in 30 games that we've given up more than 28 or more, 28 plus points. So, look, defense didn't kill us. They just didn't bail us out.
Yeah.
And I am reminded, though, whenever the Chiefs do lose of...
We're not used to this feeling.
No.
Hasn't been since Christmas of 2023.
Yeah, we were at that game.
You guys were. I was not.
Yeah, we were at that game. It was a waste of... It was the worst... No, it was just a waste of the morning. But mainly why it annoys me when the Chiefs lose is I'm reminded of a Tech 9 lyric that at the time always annoyed me.
Gotcha.
I'm pissed off because the Chiefs lost.
Pissed off because the Chiefs
And
lost.
I remember when he did it in a song, I was like, what in the fuck is that? That's like some real... You're really stretching
That's
it
some
there.
Eminem orange door hinge type shit.
Right.
Yeah.
But now every time the Chiefs lose,
I'm pissed off because the Chiefs lost.
So it pisses me off even
That
fucking
pisses me
more
off
because
more,
I
yeah.
think that's a weak fucking awful lyric.
It's a bad lyric, yeah.
But I remember it.
It sticks with you.
Yeah.
It sticks with you.
But no, I mean,
9.
it's funny how we like reserve the right to get really pissed off at stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like especially because I'll find myself doing it like, I'm sure you heard me say like, oh, well, they won their Super Bowl again.
Yeah.
And I even do that. Like Griffin's been on a good baseball team the past several years, and like I'll say that, like, oh well, they just won the World Series against us.
Yeah.
Like it's a fucking pool play that doesn't matter. But this team that is not as good as us and
Oh, no,
doesn't
yeah.
win as much.
It's a common sentiment.
And it's like,
You
but
win
who
a
the
game,
fuck am I though to
Yeah,
be like, you
we're
should
better than
celebrate
you.
a
Yeah.
certain way.
Yeah.
Like fuck that. Like let them.
Well, it's a
let
classic
them celebrate.
idea, you know, the whole act like you've been there before. And
It is, but fuck that.
But yeah,
let
I
them
think it's
celebrate.
yeah.
And that's why I'm trying to embrace that. Like fucking
do your thing.
You won. Well done, guys.
But there is a difference in the way that they celebrated a game they comfortably won, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
like we celebrated last week when we blocked a field goal that would have lost us the game.
Yeah.
Because it came down to one play.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, and we were still playing to be undefeated.
Yeah.
I mean, we were like, that matters.
Yeah.
It looked like it mattered.
Yeah, it did. No, so like, that's one of those things where I'm like, I don't know. I think there is a certain... There's credence to act like you've been there before, but more often than not, it's bullshit, I think. Because they've beat us before. You wouldn't know it.
Right. Yeah, I mean, they beat us when it doesn't necessarily matter.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's... But, you know, am I being salty? You know what I'm saying? Like, do I say that because I'm being salty?
I am.
Like,
yeah.
go ahead, fucking yeah. Win your Super Bowl. You do it every fucking year, and then you lose when it matters.
Yeah.
It feels good saying that.
Well, because it's true.
I know. It feels good saying it, but also, like, who am I to say that they shouldn't be excited about just beating the fucking Chiefs,
yeah,
right? But fuck them. Fuck them all.
The last team that beat us was the Steelers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, how much pride can you really take in that?
All right. Fuck Josh Allen. 2 first names, by the way.
I think that the Bills should take less pride in beating us comparatively to the amount of shame teams should feel for us having beat them.
Right. Yeah. No.
We've played shitty this season.
Not great. Not great.
We're easily the worst 9-1 team ever.
Oh, now you're really, I can't go through my mental Rolodex of 9-1 teams.
I can't either. I'm making a blanket statement about something I have no information on.
Yeah, you're willing to say it
because that's how ugly of a season it's been.
It's been
what
grimy.
I'm saying?
I prefer grimy.
Yeah. Okay, I like that.
Grinding
I like that.
victories.
I like the way you put it like that.
Right.
But no,
grimy.
it's been ugly as shit.
Yeah, grinding out dubs.
Yeah, because every week we go through the same song and dance where Chiefs fans are like, "Wow, that was an ugly one." Had my heart racing, and all the other fans were like, "Oh, fuck you! You win every fucking year. Shut the fuck up!" Like, it was ugly as shit, though. No, like, are we that good or are we overrated? What do you want to say?
I think if we take some time to just back away from the game a little bit, we didn't possess the ball as much.
Mm-hmm.
Mahomes had 3 fucking touchdown passes, right? I think we only possessed the ball like 8 or 9 times, which they beat us in time of possession. And when you combine that with the fact that our defense didn't fucking, I mean, we got a turnover, but I don't know. I mean, like, we lost. We deserved to lose.
No, yeah, for sure.
We deserved to lose.
My parlay didn't hit either, so that's just a salt in the wound. Did yours hit?
What?
Your parlay?
It did. It did hit.
Fucking asshole.
It did hit. Yeah, I took the Bills.
Yeah, you did.
God, what a dick.
Fucking dick.
I know. Part of it, listen, I think we went over it.
We did.
And I realized over the course of the game that I'm not, unless I'm betting real money, I'm not going to bet against the Chiefs again.
Yeah.
Because it's, everybody out there, I'm not rich. I had free flip cash, right?
You're rich
so
in love.
Well, of course. Over my cup runneth over.
Yeah.
It was fucking $2 on flip.
Yeah.
And my thought process was like, well, fuck, one, I'm really bad at betting, and I'm a jinx.
Yeah, so maybe.
So if I bet the Bills.
you never hit parlays, which is so fucking
I never hit
funny.
parlays, dude. No, I don't. And so that was number one, is I'm a jinx. And number two, I really thought, well, fuck, I'd hate to see the Chiefs lose, but if they lose, at least
I'm
win.
getting something. Yeah.
And I determined when we were down in the game, which was most of the game, like it would take a lot more than like $2 worth of flip cash to fucking make me feel better about it.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. So that'll be my last one, perhaps.
Yeah. I can't bring myself to do it. I feel like a traitor.
I might be on a roll right now.
Yeah,
I mean,
maybe
it's a business decision, man.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm
gotta,
$3 richer now, bro. I don't know if I tell you.
I lost all my money today. I have no flip
all
cash
your fake
left.
money?
Yeah, I have no flip cash left. But we got a good show.
Yeah.
We do. We're going to do the last round of Divisional Dons.
Yeah.
We're going to do the last round of the Divisional Dons on the NFC West. Very excited for that. We'll do our favorite players from the 49ers, Cardinals, Seahawks, and 49ers, Cardinals, Seahawks, and Rams. Thank you.
Yeah, buddy.
Those are the 4 franchises we'll be doing today. And we are going to do another top 5 dead or alive as per usual. And this one is top 5 people with 2 first names.
Yeah.
This did get briefly mentioned last week. Which is what
gained
spurred
traction
the idea. Yes.
based off that.
Yes,
like,
entirely off that. It was like, we are
once
doing
it was
that.
Brought up, it was,
I'm pretty sure I said that will be next week's on the air list. So, top 5 people with 2 first names. An example, Mike Tyson. First name Mike, last name Tyson.
Larry David.
Good one. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. So, we'll save that for later. But, we'll start with Divisional Dons.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's jump right. No drum roll this week.
No,
it is the NFC West. It's the last one.
We know what it is.
And we can start. Let's see. What's the ugliest franchise there?
Why don't we just go Seahawks because we both know where we're going there?
Yeah, Seahawks is Marshawn Lynch.
Yeah,
easy. My favorite running back of all time. Actually, this division has my favorite running back of all time and my favorite wide receiver of all time.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see both, and I both are warranted. Yeah, I mean they're well deserved. I should say
the Seahawks obviously like when the Chiefs were in a rough spot.
Yeah,
most of my life.
Early on,
it was nice to root for other teams.
Yeah,
see them succeed and have fun watching football. Seahawks were one of those teams for me. Like I remember when they didn't run the ball to Marshawn Lynch on the 1 yard line against the Patriots.
That's fucking nuts.
I was fucking livid. You know,
Yeah.
like I had a bad night that night.
Like all you have to do is turn and hand it to that man.
Yeah, he's the one of the best running backs that's ever fucking lived.
Who was
Hand him
the
ball.
defensive back that got the interception? Butler? Does that sound
Yeah,
right?
Malcolm Butler.
Guy made a good play on that ball.
Yes, he
though.
did. He made a great play on the ball.
But yeah, it was like what. It's funny you bring up like when you're because I thought of this earlier too, which it kind of annoys me even more when we lose to the Bills because I think I've made it really clear. Like I really like the Bills.
I like the Bills
Josh
too.
Allen.
I do too.
Like
yeah. I love their fan base. Like they're actually
I do too.
they're a
They've
great
been through
franchise.
some shit,
Yeah,
man.
they're a
4
great
straight
franchise.
Super Bowls. They lost all fucking 4.
Yeah.
And I've literally had that thought like if we didn't have a team, you know, if Kansas City didn't have a team.
Yeah, who would your team be?
And I like the Bills a lot.
Yeah, I do too.
Like
I
don't
like the
know.
Bills a hell of a lot more than I like the Bengals. I'll tell you
me
that.
too. Yeah. So it's funny that you bring that up in terms of like when you know your childhood was rough in terms of like
Who
Chiefs
did I
sucked.
look
who
for?
did you? Yeah, who?
And it was mostly players. I followed players,
Yeah.
and the Seahawks had a lot of them. Marshawn Lynch, the Legion of Boom, Cam Chancellor, Earl Thomas,
that
Richard
defense.
Sherman, Bobby Wagner. Like
and that's why it's kind of hard. Like that's how much you know you really love Marshawn.
Exactly.
Is because
I
Wagner,
love
Chancellor.
that defense.
Yeah, I mean,
Cam Chancellor particularly. I fucking loved Cam
I might have
Chancellor.
to back off Marshawn on this.
But I can't. Marshawn Lynch is just undoubtedly. He's been my favorite. He was my favorite running back at the time, and since he's retired, he's only gotten better.
So that's and I'm not gonna have another opportunity to take him. Right.
We do have our reassessment next week.
Yeah, but I mean, he's I'll roll with him. Yeah, he just the personality. Dude could play.
Yeah, he could.
That team. I mean, Russell Wilson is kind of proven he can still play a little bit.
Yes, he has. Yes, he has.
Which
Pete
I'm
Carroll
not.
and
I think
him.
he's lame. I think just his whole vibe. You know, Mr. Unlimited.
Mr. Unlimited.
That shit.
Yeah.
But I think Denver. I think people wrote him off, and at least he's winning some fucking football games.
Oh yeah, he is. He for sure is.
They beat the Ravens today.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did.
I don't know. They scored any touchdowns.
It was 18-16. I guess I couldn't tell you if they did either.
Yeah, I don't know the math on that.
I doubt it was 6 field goals. I really doubt it.
No, I think they probably got one, maybe missed an extra point, some shit.
But Marshawn Lynch getting the double nod for the Seahawks makes him our 4th player in the entire league to be a doubled up on for us. We did Junior Seau, Jason Kelsey, Mike Vick, and now Marshawn Lynch.
Damn, I don't know. That's a lot, I feel like.
Just
There's only so many divisions.
I mean, if
There's 8,
it depends.
right?
Yeah,
Are there 8?
there's 8 divisions, and we've done it for 4.
So
one
half
team.
of them we
know what our favorite player is.
That's true.
You know, if there's just an
hey,
undisputed,
bro,
I mean, that's a great fucking lineup of players.
You have
there.
great
Mike,
taste, too,
yeah.
obviously.
Junior Seau, Mike
Yeah.
Vick, Jason Kelsey, and Marshawn Lynch.
Yeah,
that's
who's gonna
fucking
argue-
great.
Who's going to argue that?
Exactly.
And if they do, fuck them.
Fuck them. Fuck them.
Fuck.
But yeah, Seahawks, Marshawn Lynch, easy.
Yeah.
Let's see. Do you want to go to the? Let's go 49ers.
49ers, okay. A lot of history there.
I feel like this is one that we will not overlap.
No, we probably won't.
Because I mean, a lot of defensive players that I really, really loved.
Yeah.
Patrick Willis.
Yeah.
Navarro Bowman.
I mean, they played together.
Yes, they
mean,
did. They were
talk
the
about
hardest
a linebacker duo.
Hardest linebacker core
they were
for
so
most of
fucking
my
badass.
childhood.
Yeah.
Not most of my teenage years. A couple years there.
Really good.
Oh yeah, fucking incredible.
I mean, they had Joe Montana.
Joe Montana.
He was
Jerry
pretty good.
Rice.
Jerry Rice was
Yeah.
okay. Roger Craig was a great running back.
Frank Gore.
Frank Gore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Long time.
Gosh, I mean, George Kittle currently.
Mm-hmm.
Steve Young.
Yeah. Very historic franchise.
Jonathan Taylor, who's a wide receiver. No. Yeah.
I don't know. I know Jonathan Taylor, the running back for the Colts.
Oh, yeah, I know. I think I fucked that up. No, there was a wide receiver that overlapped with Rice.
Then you're not going to get it out of me.
Yeah, no, it wasn't Jonathan Taylor because he actually plays with the fucking Indianapolis Colts now.
Yeah, so that is who you were thinking of.
I don't know, man.
That's the name.
I don't want to talk about it.
I know who my favorite 49er is, though.
I know who my favorite 49er is.
I know you know who your favorite. Well, let's start with yours.
Ronnie Lott.
Yeah. Pretty sure
Ronnie.
you've already actually spoiled that this would be your
Yeah,
favorite
Ronnie
at some
Lott.
point. Yeah.
And what's interesting is I learned a little more about him because I was always told that he cut his pinky off
Yeah.
at halftime.
Yeah.
Or maybe that's just how I heard it.
Yeah.
He didn't. He cut his pinky off. But it was either have surgery at the end, like miss some game, like at the end of the season, have surgery and potentially miss some of the first part of the next season.
Damn.
Or cut that motherfucker off. And he just had it amputated. And I found out he regrets it.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah. So I'm like, man, this is what like kind of was like, oh yeah, God,
That's
man,
a
cut off
badass.
his
That's a
fucking
badass
finger.
move.
And he's
yeah.
like, man, I wouldn't do it again. He was like, I did it just to play a few more football games.
yeah.
But
Now I have 9 fingers for the rest of my life.
Outside of the whole pinky situation,
He was a bad man.
Dude was a bad man.
Yeah.
42. Ronnie Lott.
Ronnie
he
Lott.
would just fucking thump you.
Oh, dude. I remember the funny thing is I obviously heard about Ronnie Lott from you because I didn't know that until just now either, that he didn't actually do it at halftime. And
No!
yeah.
I know.
You told me that a
example.
long time ago.
This is an example of fathers passing down false fucking narrative to their children, and I want to fucking make it right now.
You did.
Sorry, man.
I feel sullied.
I was just passing along.
Well, mine's not going to be Ronnie Lott anymore. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm totally disappointed. The man,
Man.
the story didn't happen the way I was told.
No, so that
Dad.
kind of ruins the whole thing for me. No, I'm just kidding. But he was still a bad motherfucker, man. Even making that decision at the time still does make you a bad motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Even if you do regret it now, even if it wasn't in the middle of a fucking game, that's still a badass.
I mean, it was
move.
like, oh, you mean I'm going to miss games? Just cut it off.
Cut it off.
Still fucking
That's
badass.
pimp.
But
yeah.
you could see how like the telephone game happens with that.
Yeah, 100%.
Like,
100%.
Oh, it was this, it was, and then it just becomes something that really wasn't.
Especially in a era that precedes social media and
fact-checking.
instant news and all that good stuff. But all right, Ronnie Lott. Mine, I don't know if it'll come as a surprise to anybody or if it'll come as a surprise to everybody. It's Colin Kaepernick.
Colin Kaepernick.
My favorite 49er is definitely Colin Kaepernick.
I don't know. Who is that now?
He is most well known for
good choice,
obviously
though.
his protests.
He was
that have been misconstrued terribly. But before he was an poster boy for the right to fucking hate. He was fucking godly.
Yeah, he was cold.
He was so good.
Jim Harbaugh got the best out of that dude.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's so crazy, and I don't want to make it too like
political,
polarizing, but it is wild that for so many years he. Like now, not so much. I mean, we're well removed from it, and I'm talking about in terms of like his ability now.
Mm-hmm.
But you mean to tell me like the past 10 years that dude
He'd have
couldn't
been
be
a
a fucking
starter.
backup?
He'd have been a fucking starter.
I know,
in
right?
places.
But he couldn't be a backup anywhere.
Like the most obscene example of blackballing in the last 10.
It
15
is.
years.
It's
maybe
pretty,
in the history of the fucking NFL.
Yeah, it's yeah, it's disheartening and it's blatant and it was obvious.
Yeah, like there's no
It's like
doubt about why he's no longer.
You got to
in the
get out
league.
of here. And I wonder if it's changed that much to where he would be able to do any of that now.
No. In fact, there's something really cool about his protests. Did exactly what he wanted them to do. They just didn't benefit him.
No, they didn't. They didn't.
Which is not the point of protesting, obviously. But, you know, when you look at 2020 during COVID, when people were taking to the streets after the death of George Floyd and stuff, that's 3 or 4 years removed from Colin Kaepernick's protests, you know?
Yeah.
Like, that's it's really interesting to see. He's obviously not ahead of the curve by any stretch. You know, you have the L.A. riots back in '92 after Rodney King, but like
and even before that, the
and
Watts
even before
riots.
that, long time,
LA's been rioting
long
for a minute.
history of police violence. So, I mean, he was obviously not ahead of the curve, but I think he used his platform to shine a light on an issue that needed to be touched on and paid attention to, and it was.
And I think
it has been ever since.
Yeah, and I think it's important to point out that, cops are a microcosm of. They're a sample size of the fucking population.
Oh yeah,
there are piece of shit people.
Mm-hmm.
We all know piece of shit people.
Yeah.
We work with some of them. They
so that applies to any workforce.
So that applies to any workforce.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like if you are generally offended by the idea that I would say some police officers are bad people, then you're telling on yourself.
You are the sheep. You know?
You're the fucking problem.
Yeah.
Like, if you can't even admit that
some of them at least.
Some of them are.
Yeah.
And I'm willing to admit there are great ones. I'm sure they, fucking salute.
Mm-hmm.
You got into that line of
and you did it.
You're in that profession for a reason. You're doing a great job.
Mm-hmm.
There's plenty though that are fucked up.
Yeah.
That are just doing fuck shit out there all the time. And that I think that's where I stand on it, is if you get offended by it, then you need to look in the
You need to reevaluate
mirror.
that. Yeah, I'm with that. I'm with that for sure.
He got black, and his heart was in the right place.
Mm-hmm.
He did it for the right.
He did it for the right reasons,
and it cost him millions of dollars.
It cost him millions of dollars. He's had a pretty successful career outside of football, though. Beyond it,
as he should, and you would think a guy like that probably is going to land on his feet pretty fucking well.
Yes, and he should, and that's what's cool, my only beef, my single beef with Colin Kaepernick, and I'm sure there's more. I've just not looked into it, but there was headlines recently that he's going to do like an AI generated comic book, and I fucking hate that. Oh,
get this guy out of here.
Yeah, fuck that. I like that is morally appalling.
I don't care what he stands for.
You are not creative enough to do a comic book. You don't do a fucking comic book.
I don't care if you're kneeling or not.
Yeah.
You can't fucking get into the comic book game if you can't fucking do the artistry.
If you can't write a book, if you can't write a book, don't have AI write you a book. If you can't draw a picture, don't have AI draw you a picture.
Yeah, that's cheating.
It's cheating. It's bullshit. It's not yours. It's mining other people's art, and that's exactly what an AI comic book is going to do. So that's my only beef with Colin Kaepernick.
So now we're actually going from your favorite to fuck him.
The pros outweigh the cons immensely for me with Colin Kaepernick, which is why he is my favorite 49er of all time. But I did want, anytime I have a chance to say fuck AI, quote unquote art, I'm gonna do it.
Fair enough.
I gotta jump the bones of AI, quote unquote artists. And I emphasize quote unquote because they're not fucking artists. But we can go on to the Rams. How are we feeling there?
Rams had some players. You remember Steven Jackson?
Of course.
He was a bad boy.
Yes. I actually have him on my short list here.
Yeah, I was going to say around the time you were talking about like
some
Marshawn
of my favorite.
Lynch that dude could.
He was a staple.
I think he was Oregon State. I don't know why I feel like he was Oregon State.
Is there any chance he was Oklahoma State?
No
chance. All right.
I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know. I was just throwing out the other orange and black team that has O State in it. Let's see. I think you're right with the Oregon State. Steven Jackson. Let's see.
It's gonna be like
Oregon State. You got it right.
Yeah,
good shit.
Baby.
But yeah, he when they were the St. Louis Rams, still he was definitely And that's the bulk of my love for the Rams is when they were in St. Louis.
Did I pick Marshall Faulk for anything?
No, you saved him.
Okay.
You thought about using him for the Colts, but you did not.
I did. Okay. Well, spoiler alert.
You think you're going to go Marshall
Faulk? Yeah.
I mean, the greatest show on turf is kind of hard to pass up.
Yeah.
Because
Torrey Holt, Isaac Bruce,
Kurt Warner. Mine's Kurt Warner.
Yeah. Fuck, what a great story.
I fucking love Kurt Warner, man.
That's another way that the announcers and stuff really push a dialogue. He was sacking groceries.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And he did work at a grocery store. I don't know what he did for the grocery store.
Yeah.
But the dude played Arena League football, was working at a grocery store, and Could fucking play.
Yeah, could fucking play. Won a fucking chip. Yeah, so like I like Kurt Warner. One of the funniest reasons I have for this also is that he made a guest appearance on Sweet Life of Zack and Cody when I was a kid.
I fucking love that.
And I was instantly like, Kurt Warner, huh? All right, I like this guy.
Yes.
Because obviously he did go on to play for another franchise in this division.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time that he was on Zack and Cody, he was on the Cardinals.
Okay.
So like, and it was around the time that they were really fucking good,
Yeah,
and they went to the.
almost
they went to
took them.
He did take them to a Super Bowl.
Did they go to the? Okay.
They faced the Steelers, and Santonio Holmes made that catch in the corner. That was
Big Ben,
and I would
put it on him.
Yep. So like, and we'll get to the Cardinals here in a second, obviously, but I had to go with Kurt Warner for one of the two franchises, and my Cardinal is just so much easier. So Kurt Warner for the Rams, easy for me.
No, I dig that. The Rams. I mean, it's tough because they were in L.A. And then they were in St. Louis,
and then they were back in L.A.
And then they were back in L.A.
Yeah.
I mean, Eric Dickerson was like an all-time great running back.
Remember,
but I never watched him much.
Let me throw you this name, deep cut
Yeah.
for the Mizzou fans. E.J. Gaines. Do you remember
Gaines?
E.J. Gaines?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, gosh.
How about that?
How about that?
Yeah. Who'd have thunk? Not me.
I mean, the greatest show on turf,
Aaron
like you
Donald.
automatically go to that, right? Dick Vermeil, who would go on to be the Chiefs head coach. I do like Matt Stafford a lot.
I love Matt Stafford.
Yeah.
That's why I couldn't knock you one bit if you went Matt Stafford. Aaron Donald, frankly.
Aaron Donald was, yeah, no one could argue Aaron Donald.
No,
Aaron
no,
Donald.
not even a little bit.
I know how much you love Ramsey, so
I love that that's become a thing. I don't
You
not
fucking
like
hate-
I don't
you hate
not
that
like
man.
Ramsey. I
You
just don't
hate-
think about
you
him.
hate that man. I know you do.
You ruined my life. I don't even know who you are.
And I'm sure there's other defensive players. I like to think defense a lot, but all I can think about is offense with the Rams. Fuck, I really thought I was going Falk the whole time. San Diego State Aztec.
Do you kind of wish you would have went with him for the Colts now?
Who did I go with the Colts?
I don't remember.
See, probably.
I'll have to listen.
Who the fuck did I go with the Colts?
Damn it! I usually write it down. I did not last week, which is a problem. Because I went with Reggie Wayne.
Yeah, you did. Edgerrin James.
Edgerrin James. Good
So
call.
no, I'm not mad about that actually. Now,
No.
and I'm not going to be mad for going with fucking Matt Stafford. Sorry, Marshall.
Matt Stafford.
I'm going Matt
okay.
Stafford.
I
dude.
love that.
I always liked that dude. Coming out of Georgia, going to the fucking Lions, and the dude. I mean, fuck. Is he a Hall of Famer? His numbers are fucking crazy.
Now that he has
a Super Bowl.
has a Super Bowl, 100%. I
Numbers
have no
are
doubt.
nuts.
Yeah,
And yeah, but well, he's always Calvin Jones, blah blah. I mean, dude,
the Lions were fucking awful.
Yeah, he can make all the throws.
Yeah,
fuck, Marshall Falk. Sorry, man, but yeah,
Things happen.
I'm going Matt Stafford, even in spite of his wife.
in spite of his wife.
Oh, sorry,
Brutal.
She's a real pain in the ass.
Yeah, I know nothing about Matt Stafford's wife.
Me neither. Redacted.
Redacted. Just out of curiosity, we're going to backtrack here a little bit.
Okay.
Do you recall who you went with for the Texans?
I went Matthew.
Oh, yes, Tyrann Mathieu.
Yeah.
Okay. And your Jags player. Do you recall there? Because I went with Maurice Jones-Drew.
I go Fred Taylor.
I think you thought about it. I think you did. I'm going to take it down, and then I will listen back later.
Okay.
And we will find out for sure.
I don't know though. Why would I have gone with Fred Taylor?
Fred Taylor definitely came up. That's why.
Yeah,
that's
I mean,
why I'm
there's
okay
just
with
not
it.
very many notable fucking players that.
Yeah, we're with Jacksonville for any
Yeah.
stretch of time. But Paul Posluszny,
You brought him up.
I brought him up last week too.
No. You
but
did. You're consistent.
Justin Blackman,
Kevin Hardy.
yes,
I brought him
Gardner Minshew.
Florida man is what I
Yeah,
call him.
but let's do Cardinals. My Cardinal
Should be
is
easy.
my favorite wide receiver of all time is Larry Fitzgerald.
Yeah. Yeah.
Played almost like until a couple years ago for as long as I could remember. For as long as I watched football, I watched Larry Fitzgerald play
At
football
extremely high level.
an insanely high level. He never really fell
whole
off a
time.
cliff either. Like he just kind of retired one day, and that was that.
Yeah.
He was obviously old. Like it was like he's
Played at the University of Pittsburgh.
mm-hmm.
Was a ball boy. His dad was a coach at the University
for the Vikings.
of Pittsburgh. Well, at that time when he was ball boy at University of Pittsburgh, I think.
Oh.
Fuck, I might be making that up, but I'm pretty much.
I don't know why I
a
thought of
thousand
Vikings.
No, he may have been in the pros, but you know what I mean. When Larry was a young and a ball boy, I think he was a ball boy because his dad coached there. Maybe
Looked up ball boy Vikings and it says Larry Fitzgerald, baby. Larry Fitzgerald worked as a ball boy for the Minnesota Vikings when he was a teenager. Prior to
that's
going
what
to
I
Pitt.
meant.
Yeah,
that's actually what I meant.
yeah, exactly what I said is what you meant.
So he was a ball boy there when Chris Carter was there.
Yes,
and all
yes.
Chris Carter does is catch touchdowns.
Yeah.
And then he went on to play for
At
the
Pitt,
fucking for Pitt Panthers.
Yep. There you go.
Okay, we got there.
We got there. We managed.
And with all that, mine is Anquan Bolden. No, Anquan Bolden is actually
Anquan Bolden was great,
he was so good. That's
and
somebody
he just played across from Larry Fitzgerald. So.
Yeah, and he played Ravens. Like he had a big part in the Ravens' success.
Yeah.
But Larry Fitzgerald all day.
Yeah,
I mean,
we got 2 in this division. That's a
know.
first. No, I mean but that's the thing.
I don't know who to go. I mean, what do you do there?
Kurt Warner,
That's the other thing. Like the Cardinals, the Cardinals left
St. Louis,
St.
long
Louis.
time ago.
Wait, so there? Yeah, that's so funny. We were talking about the Rams going from L.A. to St. Louis to L.A. And in a way, it was like L.A. to St. Louis to Arizona. One of the iterations of St. Louis fucking sucks. By
Yeah,
the
they
way.
can't hold on to any team besides the Cardinals.
The Cardinals and whatever hockey they have over there.
Blues.
Yeah, I'm gonna give them the Blues.
Yeah.
So, yeah, one iteration went from the Cardinals to I'm sorry, the St. Louis Cardinals.
Yeah, became the Arizona Cardinals.
Arizona Cardinals, yeah.
Yeah, because they had 2 teams called the Cardinals at some
Yeah, who
point, which
wants
is
that?
fucking bozo
It's
shit.
too much.
St. Louis, man.
Too much Cardinals.
The only good thing that ever came out of St. Louis is my future wife.
Yeah, and Clark Frost.
Clark Frost, too. He's
I
cool.
don't think he's not from St. Louis though. Shout out Clark Frost.
Yeah, she's from Union, so
He's
still
just he's
no,
just a huge fan.
Nothing St. Louis has ever done is good for me. Let's see. Yeah, it's Larry Fitz. I can't even begin to think of another option.
Easy.
David Johnson. I liked David Johnson for a lot of years. The running back. He was good there. He also went on to play for the Texans eventually. Trying to think of some other people who might have stopped through. I feel like Calais is Calais Campbell a Cardinal? I might be messing that up.
I feel like there was a linebacker there, but I couldn't tell you. Like, I feel like I picture this same generic linebacker for like every team that I can't think of the actual linebacker.
Right. You think of the same fucking generic guy wearing 50-something.
Just a
or
50-something fucking running around making plays.
Yeah. Marcus Golden.
Oh, yeah.
How about that guy?
MIZ.
Yeah, there you go. I can throw out a few MIZ guys
we
for
should
you.
have got Marcus Golden maybe, but no, you can't fuck with Larry Fitzgerald.
It's Larry Fitzgerald. Like I don't even think Marcus Golden. Evan Boehm, another Mizzou guy.
Yes.
Played for the Arizona Cardinals.
Lee Summer West.
Yes, indeed. Yeah,
I'll be good.
they like their Mizzou guys, I guess.
They do.
In the NFC West.
Call that a pipeline.
Mm-hmm. Mizzou to the
Mizzou
NFC
pipeline.
West. But, yeah, all right. So, Larry Fitz, both for the Cardinals. Marshawn Lynch, both for the Seahawks. And then for the 49ers, I took Colin Kaepernick, you took Ronnie Lott. And the Rams, Kurt Warner and Matt Stafford. A couple of the greatest quarterbacks of all time right there.
Mm-hmm.
And that concludes Divisional Dons.
Yeah, we're
officially.
done. So
we are
next
going
week
to
we're gonna
revisit it next week, and we are going to check out certain franchises that maybe we feel we overlooked somebody.
Maybe missed something.
I'm obviously going to have to check back in on whether or not you actually picked Fred Taylor for the Jags, and we can move on into top 5 dead or alive. You ready?
Let's get it.
So, top 5 people with 2 first names.
Yes.
This is fucking hard. Once
really
we
is.
started doing it, we realized just how many people have 2 first names.
There are so many.
And this is all in good fun. Nobody is getting made fun of for their name.
No. No, and, it's evolved over time. I mean, I found myself thinking of so many, and you did too. I know we were talking about it while we were watching football. Like, there's so many sports.
Yeah.
So many athletes. But
We had a few. We had a few in the Divisional Dons. Chris Carter, Lawrence Taylor.
Yeah.
Like there's plenty.
It's There's so many, and it was a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
I struggled to get it whittled down to 5.
Yeah, I did too. I ended up having to just throw a fucking number at some of them. Like, I love a lot of these people. Like, a guy who did not make my top 5, legendary basketball player, the GOAT. And I could be talking about 2 different fucking people there.
You're probably talking about LeBron James, but you should be talking about Michael Jordan.
Neither of them made it, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
There you go.
You
How
said
about that?
GOAT, though.
Yeah, I was talking about LeBron James.
I know.
But
I fucking said that.
I like that since we have this dichotomy where I'm the young one and you're the old one, you've decided to assume the role of being the Michael Jordan's the GOAT guy, even though I know that's not how you actually feel.
Oh, I think Michael Jordan's the GOAT.
Don't lie to the people.
Dude, we've been over this.
I know, I'm fucking with you so that every...
just reminded me of your mother right there, just fucking knowing how to fucking push my buttons, dude. It's like, what the fuck? Michael Jordan. Look,
the GOAT?
You know, that's right.
To you.
That's right. I mean, give me one guy that needs to win a fucking basketball game.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
Yeah, you're grinning. I love that you're grinning because you knew that's what I was going to go.
Yeah,
after.
exactly. We've probably had this conversation.
I mean, is LeBron the most dominant basketball player, the most talented basketball player, the most, had the longest career?
I mean, he's
longevity?
in year 22.
It's outstanding.
He's in
It's
year
fucking
22,
great.
and he did 4 straight triple doubles the other day.
Big fucking deal. If
Yeah.
I need one game, give me the other fucking guy. I mean, LeBron has had every opportunity to win multiple championships, and he fucking hasn't.
And he has,
you know
though.
why? Because he's not a fucking killer. Give me a fucking killer.
Disagree.
Give me an assassin. Give
Disagree.
me somebody that wants to fucking rip your heart out. Michael Jordan wanted that.
He did, but LeBron James
You know what?
is still the
That was
GOAT.
just passion that came.
He's still the
came
most
from him.
talented basketball player that ever touched the floor.
Doesn't make him the greatest. Just makes him the most talented.
There's an argument to be had there, but neither of them made my top 5 here.
One of them made mine.
Yeah, I assume I know who.
I have a great reason, though.
I like it. I like it. All right. Let's see.
Did we just argue? Is this our first argument?
I think it might be on the podcast. Elton John.
Good.
Not on my top 5.
No,
though.
me neither.
Love him. Michael Jackson. Not on my top 5.
Jack.
Christopher Lee, legendary actor, stage and screen, Nazi hunter, is who James Bond is based off of. Christopher Lee, legendary guy. Count Dooku. Saruman, one of the Lord of the Rings guys. Not on there, but I do love him. Superheroes: Clark Kent, Peter Parker didn't make it.
Yeah.
Tough to say goodbye. My co-host Joseph George sadly did not make the
Oh,
top
he
of my
didn't
top
make it?
5.
I was rooting hard for Joe.
I just generally ruled him out because he knows I love him.
Right.
You know?
And I mean, you mentioned him now.
Yeah, exactly. And he is number 1 in my heart, but for the purpose of this, I had to get more creative, I feel like.
I found myself like going, trying to diversify the list a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, and frankly, like favorites. I don't know. Like,
I went with
right?
like the when it comes to doing real people, tough to call anybody favorites. Like it's weird.
Yeah,
like,
even if they are athletes, like it's still
athletes,
just because of their name.
If there's a specific category,
yeah,
it's a little easier. My top 5 favorite actors, my top 5
Right.
favorite athletes, my top 5 favorite directors, stuff like that. I can do.
Sure.
Top 5 favorite people with this name. That's tough. I don't know how to evaluate that. It's very, very broad.
And
so
there's a lot.
There's a lot
like
of them.
we said.
I ended up going with 3 real people and 2 fictional people.
Okay.
And the 2 fictional people are at 1 and 2.
That's outstanding. I went with 1 fictional, and I went ahead and, for whatever reason, put him at 5, just because it was like, well, it's fictional.
You're the fictional
Although
one.
that
I went with, you're the fictional ones, you go to the top.
Yeah, and really mine I've probably
loved that person
got
more than
more
any of them.
joy from him than
that was what I operated under. That's why I
might switch it up. Then. But I mean, some that barely missed for me, Dwayne Wade, fictional Ricky Bobby.
Yeah,
I
didn't mention him because I wasn't sure.
Such a great.
He's got 2 first names.
Such a great combo.
Richard Robert.
Richard Robert, man. Ricky Bobby. Sean Carter. Jay-Z.
Jay-Z didn't end up making it,
He did not.
Did
no. Bo Jackson.
Bo Jackson didn't
did not make it.
I forgot. You have the principal thing with the Jacksons.
Yeah, I don't know why. It's Derek Thomas was close. The other one that was close was I have a real life one. You have Johnny George.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Joseph
George, yes. I have John.
John. Okay.
John moved at some point.
Yeah.
Went to middle school with this cat. His name was John. All right, I'm 13 years old. Yeah. Yeah, because he was
because his name was John.
Yeah, I mean, there was always the premise that like he was like going to go.
He's going to go places.
Well, yeah, going to go act.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can actually, about 3 years ago, there's a billboard on 291 Highway in Independence, north of I-70, insurance. Like John.
That's that John.
That's John.
Okay, I thought so because I've seen his face.
John.
Yeah, and I've seen the name, and every time I drive past it, I'm like John. That's great.
It's fucking amazing.
Yeah,
and just not only to have like that's why it's worth noting.
It's because it's the same name twice.
Yeah,
That's pretty impressive.
So worth a note there.
Definitely worth a note.
John. Shout out John.
Another couple that did not make the cut for me. Ridley Scott, the director.
I didn't know if you thought of that one. I thought
did.
of it, and I was like, well, I didn't know.
Yeah,
I didn't bring it up when we were going over them earlier because I thought that might be one for you.
Yeah, I like Ridley Scott. I love his movies. I love Alien. I love Thelma and Louise. I love Gladiator. Hype for Gladiator 2 this weekend. But just didn't make the cut. Actress Greta Lee, actress Karen Allen, actress Kristen Stewart. None of those people made it.
Nolan Ryan,
Christopher Nolan did not make it.
Nolan, that's a good one.
But we could do this all day. Like we were up there.
There's a lot.
The entire football game, basically, the entire family was throwing out names of people who have two first names.
Yep, George Brett.
Yeah, George Brett. There was a lot. So we can go ahead and take it on in, though.
Let's do it.
Where are you starting with your 5?
I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to stick with what I had coming in. Michael Scott.
Good
Michael
stuff.
Scott's my 5, and easily could be my 1 because of how much I've enjoyed
The Office.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, what more can you say?
Yeah, Michael Scott. He's the fucking
He's
goat.
amazing.
Yeah, super funny.
So, yeah, Michael Scott.
Steve Carell, love it.
Steve Carell, Office.
My 5 is also a gentleman who's brought me a great deal of joy. Just lifelong fan. George Lucas.
Yeah,
had to be here.
I'm just kind of surprised he's 5. That makes me. You have 2 fictionals though. So.
Yeah, I have 2 fictionals at the top, which is important. And then the other 2 nonfiction people, real people, if you will. I feel like I can like them more on a personal level.
Okay.
And obviously, I don't know them. This is pure vibes.
Yeah, George kind of seems like
George
maybe,
is. He's
kind of
he's a billionaire.
Yeah.
You know, like it's just principally that's probably going to be a rough time. I know what you're about in your fiction, but I also know what you're about in your fiction on occasion. You know, so like there's things where I'm like, I don't know what you're like, dude.
What about rival? I'm calling him a rival. James Cameron. That's a double name. That's a double first name.
I do love James Cameron.
Is he likable? More likable than perhaps George Lucas?
Definitely. He's definitely more out there than George Lucas. George Lucas is very private, so like I don't really know.
Okay, so we hate George Lucas. He's so private.
That's extreme. He's one of my top 5 favorite people with 2 first names.
But he's so private, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, no, but James Cameron's more cocky than George Lucas, which frankly I respect.
Got a little swag to him.
Yeah, he does like deep sea oceanography.
Yeah,
that's like what he does, and he makes billion-dollar movies on the side.
Right. Yeah, he
like
has a real passion
to fund
for that.
his hobby of diving.
Yeah,
deep
I don't know
into
if
the
you
ocean.
recall, like a few years ago, when one of those things went down to like the depths of the ocean and just never.
Yeah,
we like
the submersible.
Right.
That was last year.
It's like here's what probably happened, but we don't know.
James Cameron was the one who was like, "Yeah, so this is the deal."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that.
He was actually. Fun fact about James Cameron. Not so fun fact, actually. He was.
Well, it depends on who you are.
At the Titanic wreckage when 9/11 happened.
Oh, that's probably not a fun fact for anybody.
No, nobody. But he came up.
He was at the Titanic
because
wreck.
he came out of the water and they were like, James, big news. And that's how we learned that the Twin Towers, because he was down in the fucking ocean near the Titanic wreckage.
What was he doing there?
Chilling.
Like, you know what I mean? though?
He is actually convinced.
Like, what are we doing down there?
He actually has spent more time
with
on the Titanic than the captain of the Titanic did.
Okay. Which does beg the question again. What's he doing there? Like, I mean, like, he spent all that time there. What?
He made Titanic.
Right. But he made Titanic. When did Titanic come out?
1997. So
it was well
before. Years before 9/11.
So he started. This man has an obsession with the Titanic.
Yeah, he loves the Titanic.
Does he have like a distant relative that we don't know about that was on the motherfucking
Possibly.
Titanic? All right. Well, George Lucas.
In fact, I'm going to do that as an honorary George Lucas / James Cameron.
I dig it. I know it's so funny.
I love it.
We got sideways there.
Yeah,
that's my fault.
No, it's okay. I like talking about James Cameron. Fuck it, George Lucas / James Cameron / Ridley Scott. All the filmmakers right there.
Let's go.
Alien and Aliens.
Fuck yeah. Then I might add a / to this next one. So my 3, I originally wasn't going to have on the list.
This your 4.
Oh, I'm sorry, my 4. Oh man, I skipped over my.
Yeah. It's because I talked about 3 different people.
I feel like
I did enough for both of us.
Time-wise, I should be on 3. Okay, so one of the most legendary outlaws. One of my favorite Scarface songs of all time, Jesse James.
It's one of my favorite Cher songs. Just like Jesse James.
Speaking of names, like the one name.
Yeah, Cher.
Yeah, Cher.
She would definitely be in my top 5.
Jesse James.
Yeah.
Tonight we're gonna go down in flames. You have the fucking
just
Cher.
Like Jesse James.
You have the Cher octave going on.
I love Cher.
Kind of like Eddie Vedder.
Very similar to Creed.
Yeah. Like, can you take me higher?
Yeah, but not quite that. Better.
Outstanding.
Generally. But yeah, no, Jesse James.
Jesse James, there's a really good movie that Brad Pitt plays Jesse James. It's called The Assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford, played by Casey Affleck. Affleck.
I've always heard really, really good things about the movie, but I still have not watched
movie.
It. Yeah.
I mean, for some reason, as I've gotten older, too, I've appreciated, Jesse James used to run around here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
he stuck up Union Station.
Yeah.
Once. That's fucking awesome.
Him and his brother Frank, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, Jesse James, what really put me on to Jesse James was in 1994, Scarface put out one of, I'll say it, my top 10 favorite rap albums of all time.
Okay. I was curious if you were about to make Jesse James one of your top 10 favorite songs of all time.
No, but it's from one of my favorite albums of all time, The Diary.
That's a great album. Yeah.
So good.
Scarface is also
not about
legendary.
Scarface. It's not about. This is about Jesse James.
Jesse James.
So yeah, Jesse James, my 4.
That's cool. I like that.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with a rapper for my 4.
Oh.
This is where I have Kendrick Lamar.
Lamar.
Kind of an easy one for the rappers. The other one I consider was Jermaine Cole. Couldn't go with Jermaine Cole. Not over Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick's the GOAT. And
he's really, really good.
That's what I'm like. I will more passionately defend Kendrick Lamar as the GOAT of rap than I will LeBron James of basketball.
Then don't let me get fucking in this conversation.
I know. That's why I'm like, Kendrick Lamar's just the fucking best. I love that guy. Now, there is something to be said for the fact that his debut album dropped when I was 11. Then Good Kid, Mad City came out when I was 13 or 12.
Very impressionable time.
Very impressionable time. To Pimp a Butterfly when I was 15. Yeah. Damn when I was 17. Like, just my teenage years were dominated by Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah.
And then
very
Mr.
similar
Morale.
to Tupac Shakur for me.
Yes, exactly. And that's why I'm like,
yeah.
And that's the entire argument with music and sports and anything is whoever you watched when you were a fucking teenager is going to be the greatest of all time.
Isn't it crazy? It does stick with you. It resonates big time.
100%. And that's one of the interesting things about my relationship to movies that I found to be particularly odd in that regard is that I find a lot of the stuff, aside from Star Wars, that I loved when I was a teenager, I don't love as much anymore.
Yeah.
It's early 20s is when I found like this is where I
in terms of movies.
Fell in love with movies, yes.
Okay.
Now, music, sports, all that, it's my teenage years. There's no doubt.
Got it. Okay.
And I don't know if that's just because I've dove deeper into movies than I have the other two.
Yeah.
But I mean, even you, we were talking we've been talking about your favorite movies in the past.
Oh, sure.
Gladiator, Cinderella Man.
Yeah.
That early 2000s. You were in your early 20s.
Yeah, I was.
So like, I think it's just like once you gain a certain level of comprehension.
I do too. I agree. I do think that it's like we get to a certain age and we, for instance, I brought up Revenge of the Nerds.
Yes. Yeah.
Today.
One of your favorites ever there.
That's hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't watched it in 20 fucking years.
Right. Breakfast Club.
Breakfast Club. Like, there's 80s movies that are amazing. Like, Breakfast Club is so much better.
Yeah, it transcends that.
Yeah, Revenge of the Nerds. But there's those silly movies that we should allow ourselves to enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that we do get a little older and we're like, well, I just like that because I was
13 or whatever.
Yeah. When actually, if you go back and watch them,
you still get that. It makes you 13 again.
Yeah. It's you know, and
that's, I mean, to be honest, that's why I still love Star Wars as much as I do.
Yeah.
There's a lot of, like, I can't get Emily into Star Wars at all.
Yeah.
And I hold the theory, and some people have proven me wrong on Twitter. You know, I've posed this before, and they've been like, well, I didn't discover Star Wars until I was this age or this age or this age. And I'm like, you're still impressionable enough for me for that to be, like, 15.
Yeah.
You can still find that fucking awesome at 15.
Oh, yeah,
but,
for sure.
And you can still find it awesome at any age. You know, I don't want to put anybody in a box, but
do you think people need to start on Star Wars earlier?
I'm 100% of the mind that if you
Because I went to Return of the Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, was that the second one? Or
that was the third.
I went to Empire Strikes Back then.
Ooh.
Was that the second one?
Yeah, you'd have been 3 when that was in theaters.
Okay, then I went to Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, I was going to say.
My cousin Angie and my cousin Brian took me in.
Had you watched the first 2 prior?
Fuck no.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to be there.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't give a fuck about what was going on.
Right.
And that's my impression.
that's,
you know what I mean, though?
Right.
Like, I had no interest.
No,
but it wasn't because of the movie.
I'm not saying that every young person it's going to resonate with every young person, but I think that if it is going to, that's the time. If that makes sense.
You know, I do look back. I mean, I remember very specific scenes from the first 3.
Yeah, they're very, very. They're
Jabba the
impressionable.
Hutt.
Yes, 100%.
The giant
sand pit
that looked like a. I don't even know what the fuck that.
No,
looked
I know.
like.
I know exactly what you.
Well, I don't know what I didn't know then what it looked like. And I just knew that was like, well, fuck. I think that's gross. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like,
no, I get that. I get that.
But yeah, so it never hit with me the way it hit with you. But one of my close friends, Jeremy Dickstein, fucking loves Star Wars.
Yeah.
It is interesting though how some people
certain things click
totally different. Yeah.
Like because I mean, so all that to say that's why I think Kendrick Lamar is the greatest rapper of all time.
God, we did it again.
Yeah, no, I think
did
that's,
it again
that's
and
the,
did it again
and
did it again. See, look what I did there.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
See, that's why I think that this is. I like the openness of these top 5s that we've done the last couple of weeks because they allow for stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, Kendrick Lamar, because of how much of an impression he made on me in my teenage years.
Yeah.
I'm confident he's my favorite rapper of all time. There will not be another rapper above him.
That is interesting you say that because we don't have to stay on the topic too long. But Tupac was my.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that he is.
Yeah, right.
And he was from the time I was 13 to
19. That's when he would have died.
Well, yeah, but I mean, my favorite.
Yeah, long after
maybe
that.
till now.
Yeah,
like I don't know. So we'll see.
Yeah,
see when you're 47 how
yeah.
you feel about Kendrick Lamar.
I'm pretty confident I'll still love Kendrick Lamar.
Well, there's no. I mean, I still love Tupac.
No,
but,
right. That's fair.
You know, like I mean, Kendrick.
If you were
Kendrick
gonna,
is a bad man.
This is a whole other can of worms. So I don't want to open it. But
go ahead. Open it.
If you were to claim
yeah.
a different rapper to be the greatest of all time aside from him, would it be someone who you discovered after or around the same time?
After.
Jay-Z?
I don't know. Maybe.
Weezy?
You would be hard to convince me that the Weezy run
from 99 to 08
wasn't perhaps but then I'm in my 20s.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
True.
Like I don't know. A top 5 rap would be good. I do love Kendrick. I mean, I like J. Cole a lot.
I would love if a rapper arrived on the scene within the last year or two and made me go, "Ooh, I might like you more than Kendrick Lamar."
I mean, Kendrick Lamar. The one thing I love about him is like his style. Like he makes any style his own.
Yeah.
He can do it. He can do it in a lot of different ways.
Right.
And I think that type of influence that I've heard the past 20 years, 10 years with Kendrick Lamar, or 20 years, really.
Kendrick Lamar's most prominent influence is Lil Wayne.
Is a lot different. Like, if you listen to Tupac,
Mm-hmm.
Tupac sounds the same in
Right.
every song.
Yeah.
You know, he has that same, and a lot of like the same words. He uses them
repeatedly.
And so when you hear guys like Wayne or like Kendrick Lamar or
Mm-hmm.
J. Cole or those guys, like they have a broader.
Mm-hmm. Well, and there's kind of the way rap's evolved though too.
Yeah.
You know, like it's kind of had to, where. Because country music, I'm not a country music guy particularly. I don't have any particular beef with it, but a lot of people who are not country people go, every song sounds the same.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's not true.
No,
but
yeah.
it feels that way,
But if
you know?
you're not a big fan, then yeah.
And I think that the melding and the general blowing up of rap into becoming pop music, maybe Drake might be the most responsible for that.
Yeah.
Has forced artists like J. Cole particularly to evolve from being a rapper to, I mean, J. Cole's still a rapper, don't get me wrong, but, you know, Tupac never does a song like Middle Child, you know? They count me out, I'm counting my bullets, I'm counting I'm writing down names, I'm making a list, I'm checking it twice, and I'm getting them in.
You mean with that cadence?
Well,
or do you mean like the
not the idea, but like and like it's just a different sound that didn't exist then. That's more the point I'm making.
Okay.
Like the sound, it's more sing-songy. It's not
right.
like what he's getting at. 100% Tupac probably did make a song like that.
Right.
But that sort of sing-songy, it's just something that didn't happen in the 90s for rappers. You know.
I would agree with that.
Yeah. So I think there's more opportunity for rappers now to stand out uniquely compared to rappers that existed then. And that's what makes rappers who don't stand out now that much worse to me. You know, that's why I love Tyler, the Creator. Every single project is new. There's nothing that I've heard, like I've never heard anything particularly exactly like that, you know?
Where do we stand on Drake?
I'm no longer a big fan of Drake.
Okay. But
I was.
Okay. For his library of work, when did it fall off for you?
His last truly good album was 2016, Views. 2018 he had Scorpion, and I was fine with Scorpion. I didn't love Scorpion, but I didn't hate Scorpion. But the run that he went on, Take Care, Nothing Was the Same. Yeah. If you're reading this, It's Too Late. Yeah. Views. That's a crazy run. Like that is a good run.
Do we feel like, not to compare the two, but is there some sort of comparison to be made with Drake being maybe the Steph Curry of rap, where even though Steph Curry's done it longer, prolonged success, hasn't really fallen off. He changed the game.
Yeah.
Like Steph Curry, don't you think Drake opened it up for so many other guys, though, right?
There's an argument.
How much, like, and so my mind, like the gymnastics I go through mentally is like, I wouldn't put him on Mount Rushmore of rap, because I don't think he's
not good enough to
rap.
Be yeah.
Well, and you know what I mean, like,
yeah, but I think he's a pop star. I think I do too.
But like, how many guys right now would not be around if the dude didn't exist?
Well, and there's an argument to be had there, because there's a lot of people, and it's something Kendrick Lamar pointed to a lot in their beef recently.
Oh, they have beef?
Oh, you didn't hear? No, but he managed to get very, very popular beyond most rappers' wildest dreams when he was doing rap, you know, and R&B, you know, Thank Me Later and Take Care.
Kind of that mix,
Which at that time, you know, Take Care is mostly written by The Weeknd. And, you know, he had Party Next Door on his team, and these certain guys who do sound like Drake.
Oh,
But they were never, I mean, The Weeknd's ascended past Drake sales-wise in pretty much every regard. But, like, there are guys on his label who they don't get to see success.
Right.
You know, and it's because he takes their work and does it, you know.
Right.
And the artistic integrity of it, I feel like, is a little
Whereas,
shakier.
like, Top Dog's totally different.
It's very different.
Yeah.
So there's just a lot more that goes into that conversation. But
yeah. No, I know. I knew I was, like, going sideways by bringing it up. But
no, yeah, that's
I don't
fine.
even know how we got to, like, all of it, but...
Kendrick Lamar's the greatest rapper of all time. That's how.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably top 10 anyway.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Motherfuck the big three. It's just big me. Hard.
Yeah.
Hard.
I mean, what he did with
Not Like Us and
the pop
Euphoria.
yeah, and the pop
out. Oh,
yeah.
my God. Oh, my God.
DeMar
Yeah, I mean,
DeRozan
like,
showing
it's
up.
just
Yeah, no, yeah.
fucking ridiculous.
Well, and that could be an argument for why he should be
He destroyed
up
the
there.
best-selling rapper alive.
which that dude gave a lot of dudes a lot of chances to do that, and none
Yeah.
of them fucking could.
Yeah, Pusha T did a number on him.
Push.
King Push.
Yeah, I love me some Push.
You are hiding a child.
Wild.
Hard, like, no
That's so
no matter
brutal.
what Kendrick did. And not like a certified lover boy, certified pedophile, wop, 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 not fuck him
that's
up.
pretty.
That's-
Not Like Us is a fucking banger.
That's a
though.
crazy song. I will never forget the way my jaw fucking hit the floor when Push went, "You are hiding a
yeah.
child. Let
Yeah.
that boy come home."
Yeah.
I was like,
Oh my god.
"What the fuck?" Like that.
Yeah.
That blew my mind. But the one. Sorry, now we're talking about the Kendrick and Drake beef. The song that blew my mind the most, obviously Not Like Us, Salting the Wound, was really, really nice. Euphoria was, I'd say, the best song that actually came out of the beef. But Meet the Grams is fucking
I knew
insane.
that's what you were gonna say.
Whenever he was like, because that's when Drake dropped Family Matters, and then 10 minutes later,
because he tried to respond.
he tried to dead him. That was his red button.
Yeah.
That Family Matters was his red button.
Yeah.
And Kendrick
That
was
it.
like,
and Kendrick was like,
psych.
"No, man, I already got you.
Yeah.
I'm chess.
I know
chess, not
exactly
checkers."
what you were going. He even said it in Euphoria.
Yeah.
You know, you'll probably say some shit about you'll probably say some shit on the family front because you heard Mr. Morale.
Yeah.
And then he did it, and he was like,
And
"Motherfucker."
then in like the video of Not Like Us, like his wife walking through the shit.
And the guy that
So
Drake
fucking good.
accuses his wife of cheating with directed the music video.
directed.
You know, so like it's just
like that's next level. Like that's art
there's
of war
a shot in the music video where there's an owl sitting on a pedestal looking at Kendrick Lamar.
Yes.
And he can see him plainly, and then Kendrick looks at him and he's in a fucking cage. That's fucking dope.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't know. He's just miles beyond Drake in every regard. So I can tell you confidently he's better than Drake. But
I agree. I agree. And with the Drake thing, I only brought it up to like
give you a frame of reference, kind
just
of
a frame of reference of like what he
where he stands,
or even. I do think Kendrick Lamar is far better than Drake, but like, I don't know. It's hard. Just what, did Drake open up doors for?
Is he more influential than Kendrick?
Yeah. Like
I would say so.
And
another part of that is Drake's a lot more replicable. I mean, his style, like everything he does, it's a lot simpler.
There was a time when, and I'm a big. I enjoyed a certain time G-Eazy for a certain time.
Oh yeah, for sure.
He stole Drake shit too.
Oh,
like
100%,
all those guys, like,
100%.
and that's just a white dude from fucking Oakland. That they would sing on, like they would do a little more singing, like a little more.
Yeah, the I can't remember exactly what it was fucking called. There was a.
We're probably gonna have to cut that light skin.
Yes, we
out.
will. I already noted it.
Right.
But no, you're right. You're right though. Like, and that's
I didn't
why
mean it bad.
No, I know you
Yeah,
didn't. You
I
didn't know
know
what I meant by it. I just mean that Drake, he's not as talented as Kendrick Lamar, and therefore
No.
more people are capable of biting Drake's style.
I like that.
You know what I'm
That's
saying? Like,
good. Yeah,
people don't replicate Kendrick because they can't.
right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's good. That's good shit right there.
Yeah, like they're not able to, so they don't even fucking try.
Right.
And the guys who do try end up sounding more like Eminem, or end up sounding more like Lil Wayne. And there's nothing wrong with that. You just sound more distinctly like someone who I can identify as being much better than you at what you're doing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, that's just kind of how I feel about it.
No,
But,
I appreciate it.
Yeah. But Kendrick Lamar's at my 4, so we're gonna have to go to 3. We're probably gonna fucking speed run. Yeah, we'll cut a little bit. I'll do some fancy footwork here.
Okay,
but
because we got so far off.
Yeah, way off base there.
Like we deviated.
I talked about Star Wars with Kendrick Lamar.
So fucking.
We talked.
What?
We talked about your memories of seeing Return of the Jedi in the movie theater with. I had George
Revenge
Lucas
of the Nerds came up.
I had
during
George
this.
Lucas at 5, by the way, and we talked about Star Wars more during Kendrick Lamar.
Revenge of the Nerds was.
We
brought
talked
up.
about James Cameron the entire time I talked about George Lucas, and then we talked about Star Wars
This is
during
off the
Kendrick
fucking
Lamar.
rails, man.
No, this is good
So
stuff.
number
though.
3.
Yeah.
I was not going to have him. I think I started this last time when I was ahead.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to have him in my top 5. But I do know an entire generation of people named their children after this man, and it was not a first name
Prior to him.
and so it has nothing to do with
Actual
Goat
goat
or
conversations. Yeah.
but the first name Jordan did not fucking exist
Yeah.
until
That's pretty
Michael
fucking
Jordan.
awesome.
It
Yeah.
is. I
Yeah.
mean, it's why, and so that's why I'm like, I literally was not going to have him on my list.
Yeah.
But dude, like everybody named Jordan now. Nobody thought of naming their fucking child Jordan. Like you can't say that for like anything Jackson.
Yeah, no,
Right?
no, right. That's fair.
Jordan.
Jordan exists.
There was one Jordan.
Yeah.
Like there were multiple Jacksons. There was Michael
Yeah.
Jackson, Bo.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan.
Mike Jordan. Yeah, that's a good one.
And that's really why it became a first name because of his surname.
That's pretty fucking gnarly. Yeah, I'm like the only Jordan
That's
I can
another
think
reason
of
why he's
that
the GOAT.
could not have been named after Michael Jordan. Was Jordan Belfort, Wolf of Wall Street?
Was he not?
I mean, he was 20 in the late 80s.
Have we talked about the possibility of
Time travel?
time travel and alien communication?
No, we have not. That's a good point. I had not considered that. That would make Jordan Belfort make a lot of sense.
He made a lot of money too.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. He DM'd me on Twitter once.
And he was like, I'm not going anywhere.
I'm not fucking leaving.
Not leaving.
I'm not fucking leaving.
Fuck you then. Immediately God, see, you are another example of your mom tonight. The first fucking thing you do is say, well, actually, there was a fucking Jordan.
Actually.
His name's Jordan Belfort.
But I was more trying to lend to your point that I literally can't think of another one. And
By
Jordan Belfort.
by pointing out that there was one already. Fuck you. All right. 3's Michael Jordan.
No, but you're right. like you're right that every person named Jordan now is named after Michael Jordan.
Well,
you
not
know?
necessarily, but I feel like the name does kind of exist. Because
You know, like
they're not
Jordan
like
Love.
I love Jordan so much that I'm going to name my child that.
Yeah, exactly.
But it
no
was like,
Jordan's
I like
named
that
after
name.
Jordan Belfort.
I like that name.
You know,
That's
yeah,
fun.
Michael Jordan. Yeah,
Yeah.
Jordan. It's definitely if you hear the name Jordan, there's
People
no way
are
you're
not going to start naming their children Robertson.
No,
Be kind of badass,
well, they already named their kids Robert.
son.
Shit. But yeah, MJ, good 3. Good 3. Michael Jordan. I feel like we had the conversation we would have had for Michael Jordan before we
it's
actually
already,
started.
yep.
Yeah, it
So
already happened.
I knew when we were doing it. I'm like, well,
Won't have much to say about Michael Jordan.
this is it.
Oh, but let's see.
3.
My 3 is my last nonfiction human.
Yeah.
Also a musician, Bob Dylan. I just like Bob Dylan a lot.
I love it. Yeah.
Bob Dylan's a cool motherfucker, man.
His whole
thing, man. I like
the only reason he's not on mine is because I knew he was going to be on yours.
Yeah.
Bob Dylan, he's a swell motherfucker, man.
Dude.
He's got everything over. He's fucking.
And the name, it's not Dillon. It's
No,
Dyllan, which is how a lot of Dylans
Are spelled. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
So taking the whole account, the first name situation.
Yes, indeed. Bob Dylan, just one of my favorite artists of all time. If I had been cheating a couple weeks ago when we did our top 10 bands, I would have done Bob Dylan in the band, his backing vocals and backing band, but I couldn't do that in good conscience. I love Bob Dylan, so
That's a solid 3.
Yeah, The Times They Are Changing is one of my favorite albums of all time, and one of my favorite songs of all time. But yeah,
I love Bob Dylan.
Gather
too.
round, people. Wherever you roam.
I'm really excited for the movie coming out in December.
I mean, Like a Rolling Stone is a great fucking song.
A complete unknown. That's the name of the movie, by the way. It's
Like
coming
a
out soon.
Rolling Stone. So
Cold
fucking good.
motherfucker. Love his music. And it's so
He's a
so
poet.
fascinating because he's what's that?
He's a poet.
Oh yeah. Yeah, for
I mean,
sure. He's a songwriter. That's
you know what? I'm not going to do it.
No, you're not going to open it up.
No, I was going to introduce how there's a parallel between Tupac and Bob Dylan. I'm not going to do it. But I did watch a recent Netflix documentary about Elvis Presley and his like kind of
resurgence
when he did his live special.
Yeah.
And because it was and he was fucking great, dude. Vocally, like
if I can dream,
he was amazing, dude.
Yeah, Elvis had that shit.
And I'd
Far better singer than Bob Dylan ever was.
He was, but that's what's interesting is I'd always like he went to the army or whatever and went away for a few years, and so he was out of the public, conscious and I always thought, well, like the reason like he kind of took a fall a little bit was because of the Beatles.
Right.
That was part of it, but part of it was America was looking for songwriting. Like he didn't write his own shit.
Yeah.
And
folk
plus he
really
did a lot of shit in the movie. Like he did a lot of movies that were just like went from really
he started
popular.
getting looked at as washed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But guys like Dylan was actually brought up. Like you had a guy like Dylan who was basically
speaking to the youth of America,
like writing and singing poetry, and it's perfectly. I mean, that's exactly what he was doing.
I watched. I think I brought this up before. I don't know if it was on the pod or just off mic, but the documentary "Don't Look Back." It's about Bob Dylan going over to London, touring over there and stuff, and kind of seeing his worldwide impact for the first time, like how big he was.
Yeah.
Because I think it was his first non-American tour. And I might be talking out of my ass there. I'm pretty sure that's the case. Maybe not. But regardless, journalists were coming up to him and they're like, "So are you? How do you feel about being the biggest folk singer on the plane?" He's like, "What? I'm folk? Is that how you define me? You know, is that what you want to call me?" Yeah. And the whole documentary is people being like, "So, why do you think you resonate so deeply?" And he's like, "I don't know, man. I write songs and they listen to them and they like them. You know, like he does this whole thing where he's like, don't put a label on me, don't put a label on me, don't put a label on me." And at the end, a review of his concert in the paper when they're about to leave London says, Bob Dylan is an anarchist, and one of his guys goes, "Bob, they're calling you an anarchist." And he goes, "An anarchist, huh? I like that." And then the documentary ends, which is fucking dope. Yeah. I thought that was so sick. So he's got enough music where like there's like a bell curve where you're like you've heard a few Bob Dylan songs and it's like, wow, this guy's fucking awesome. You've heard every Bob Dylan song, you're like, the numbers are not on his side. And then you've heard it, and then you're
he was doing a lot of music that was like he had a lot of really long
very long songs,
right?
Mm-hmm.
And
my favorite Bob Dylan song might be an 11-minute song. It's called Desolation Row. Really, really good song.
Hurricane's good.
Yes,
that's a longer song. Tangled Up in Blue.
Tangled Up in Blue.
Blood on the Tracks is a really good album. Yeah.
Shelter from the Storm. Like, he...
All-timer. So Bob Dylan,
Times
3.
They are a change. I mean...
Hollis Brown, he lived on the outside of town.
Just some great shit that he did.
Rolling Stone. I'm kind of going through... Like, one of his newer ones in 2020 was actually really good, too.
Yeah, the assassination, like a JFK song that he
Rough and Rowdy Ways. I Contain Multitudes. Do you know that song?
Yes, I do.
I love that fucking song.
There's a song on It's All Over Now, Baby Blue. It's all over now, Baby Blue. That's a good one. Mr. Tambourine Man. That's another. I could go all day with Bob Dylan there. Bobby D. Dill.
Bobby D.
But so that's my 3. Bob
my
Dylan.
2 is Johnny Cash.
Hell yeah! I'm glad you went with Johnny Cash. Okay.
Yeah, and he could easily be my 1. In fact, he might be my 1. I just kind of threw this list together. I don't spend a lot of time on it. Johnny
Probably
Cash.
a similar thing to. No, was going to say similar thing to Michael Jordan where there were probably not many people named Cash prior to.
Well, I think there's probably some truth to that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like Cash, I couldn't tell you a single contemporary for me who's named Cash.
Right.
I didn't grow up with a Cash. So my guess is people my age started naming their kids Cash because of Johnny Cash.
Right. Yeah, I'm like Tango and Cash in 1989 would have been well after.
Yeah, but Cash, I think, was his last name.
Right. Yeah, probably. That's fair.
So, like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Cash Parker, Cash Dickstein.
Yes.
I mean, there's...
I know. So I've met
I mean, I
several
know for a fact
Cashes.
Jim Parker named Cash after Johnny Cash.
Yeah.
You know? But beyond just, like, people, you like, hey, that's fucking awesome. I'm going to name him
Cash, yeah.
Johnny Cash was a bad motherfucker.
Yeah, Johnny Cash is so fucking cool.
I'll ride a starship
Across the universe divide.
And I will remind you right now, you thought that was fucking...
I did, Hank Williams.
Hank Williams. No, wait, yeah.
No, not Hank
Waylon.
Williams. That's
You thought
Waylon
it was
Jennings.
Waylon.
Yeah, Hank Williams is way older than them.
I was going to say far more racist.
Yeah, it's probably. He definitely would never have sang about flying a starship across the universe
Hank
divide.
Williams was like, man,
I'll
shoot that fucking starship down. That starship doesn't even fucking exist. Yeah, Johnny Cash.
The shit.
We're talking decades.
Folsom
decades,
Prison Blues
decades,
is one of the greatest.
Oh, God.
I mean, the live album at Folsom Prison might be one of my favorite albums of all time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Love that album.
And I mean, as he aged, who's the
his cover of Hurt?
Hurt.
Oh,
yeah.
Damn, that's a good song. A cover so good, nobody realizes there's an original version of it. I know. Song.
And that was fucking Rick Rubin,
by
the way, that was like, dude, you're amazing. Like, let's sooner or later God's gonna cut you down. That's a fucking like he fucking goes on that song.
Yeah.
And those are
I'll never
like
forget
70s.
There are some very formative. I loved listening to CDs in your car when I was younger.
Yeah,
Johnny Cash was definitely
Boy Named
one
Sue, man.
Yeah, I remember listening to Ring of Fire a lot.
Of course,
Walk the Line.
I mean, and those are the obvious ones.
Mind.
Yeah,
I walk the line.
They were just so. I mean, I know I've mentioned this to you. Like, he was like, when it comes to like rap and stuff like that, like talk about OGs and stuff. Like Johnny Cash was a fucking gangster.
That's a fucking pimp, right there.
Yeah, he was a fucking OG. Like, he was. Those guys were out. Like, we talked about outlaw country.
Yeah.
And you couldn't fucking put him in a box in terms of like what his genre was.
Yeah,
he wasn't country.
Yeah,
you know,
was he folk and
folk blues?
That's what's so interesting about folk too, is that every artist who's ever been told you're a folk singer is always kind of like, am I?
Yeah,
you know, like
what,
all of them are like, what does that even fucking mean,
right.
really?
One of my favorite songs of his is "Girl from the North Country" with Bob Dylan.
With Bob Dylan, yeah.
I mean, an amazing song. Yeah, so. Johnny Cash.
Top 2. I'm excited for what your 1 is. I have no fucking clue. It's time for my fictional characters, though.
Yeah, let's get to it.
You'll know my 1, but my 2 will be a little bit of a nothing burger for you.
Let's just get over it.
Special Agent Dale Cooper from Twin Peaks. Kyle MacLachlan's character. I managed to get a Twin Peaks reference in every single top 5 we do. Every single one. I love Dale Cooper. And this is more on the merits. Like, Frank Silva got in because he was in Twin Peaks. Dale Cooper is in my top 5 favorite double first names because he's that fucking awesome. Might genuinely be my favorite television character
Dale
ever.
Cooper.
Dale Cooper is a fucking ray of light in a dark, dark world.
Okay.
He's
I like a good Dale. I love a good Dale because my grandpa's name was Dale.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Dale
give me
Cooper.
Dales all day.
Dale Cooper. Love the guy.
Okay.
He's a swell motherfucker, man. Sweetheart. And he's an FBI agent who has to go investigate this murder of the homecoming queen. And He gets sucked into a darker world that he didn't know existed prior, but he had suspicions. He thought.
He did.
There's greater evil out there.
Yeah.
You know, when you're talking about aliens, he's in on that shit.
Yeah,
he's down. He's like, almost certainly. Yeah.
The aliens, have you ever thought about...
I have. But,
I can't.
Yeah, Dale Cooper, I won't go on Dale Cooper for too long, but I love that character. So he is my top television character.
Very lovable
Yes.
character.
Yeah.
So
Damn fine coffee.
So your first one is fictional, but not TV.
Not exclusive to TV. Been around the block. Been in a lot of different stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. Transcends medium.
My God.
Yeah.
That's quite a lead up. You want to go ahead and go into your
No,
one?
you're okay. We're good.
I feel like...
I'm more excited for your one. You'll know exactly, like, as soon as I say, you'll be like, oh, duh.
Okay. Yeah, probably.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead. What's your one?
Maybe not. My one is Ray Charles.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah, Ray Charles is fucking incredible.
One of my favorite songs of all time is "Song for You."
Mm-hmm.
And I know he wasn't the first to do it, but I got to think he was the best to do it.
Right.
He did
the Christmas song and Christmas
That's
Vacation.
my favorite Christmas song.
Yeah, 100%.
And I'd never heard it before until that movie, and I don't know that I've heard it
elsewhere.
I
don't even think it's available on streaming. Like I think
I've tried to find it.
I think it's very unique
I've
to
tried
that movie.
to find it.
Yeah.
It's for you all out there. It's the part where Clark Griswold is stuck in his attic, and he's watching old videos of his childhood, and it's the Ray Charles song.
Yeah, that's playing over it. Damn, is it good?
So good. Plus, I mean, fuck, what a talent.
Oh, incredible. Incredible artist.
Did you ever watch the movie that Jamie Foxx?
I never watched that. No.
Really good. I mean, Jamie Foxx did it.
Did him justice.
Yeah.
Jamie Foxx is a talented
He's
motherfucker.
extremely talented.
Like, unbelievably.
Yeah. He'd be on my top 5 if his last name was the first
Fox.
name.
Yeah. Just on principle.
Maybe it was Jamie Frank.
Yeah,
that
exactly.
He's on here.
He'd be in the Franks, too.
Yeah.
Ray Charles is a good one.
Yeah,
legend.
like that
Absolute
song.
legend.
Every year I watch Christmas Vacation and I hear that song. Like, it gets me.
Yeah,
that's
moving. It's a
so
moving
good.
moment. It's a really moving moment in an otherwise very not moving movie.
No, yeah, I think which is
a really
obviously the point.
Yes, 100%.
But it's refreshing that in the middle of that just chaos, fucking hilarious.
God,
movie,
we're getting so close to that time of year. I can't wait to watch that movie again.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
And his voice, like such a distinct voice.
Oh, beautiful voice. Yeah, Ray Charles. Good move.
That's
Good top
number
one.
uno.
My top one to round out the fictional characters here.
Yeah.
Bruce Wayne. It's Batman.
When you brought up Peter Parker
and Clark Kent
and you
expressly left out Bruce Wayne. Yeah.
I was like, that boy's going Bruce Wayne over here.
Yes, I am. I've got too nostalgic a connection to Batman for it to not be.
Would Michael Keaton qualify?
Michael Keaton would qualify for this. He would not. He would not make my top 5.
No.
Big Michael Keaton guy. But
he's Bruce Wayne though.
He's played Bruce Wayne. Yes. He's not my favorite Bruce Wayne.
Who's your favorite?
Robert Pattinson.
I fucking knew that. You brought that up in another one.
I have. Yes. I love Robert Pattinson.
He's a fucking vampire. You know that, right?
I do, and that's what makes him perfect to play Batman.
And you brought up Kristen Stewart. There's a real theme here, man.
I Twilight caught a bad rep. I won't go into that here. But
man, your mom again.
Yep. Yeah, I know. I was going to say
down here fucking riding with you
I know.
right now.
I know. But I recently talked about. I actually made a TikTok for Penny Bloom Dispatch on TikTok if you want to check it out because the Penguin series ended, which is set in the universe of Robert Pattinson's Batman. And I talked recently about how growing up, my Batman was Kevin Conroy, the animated Batman. Okay. The guy who voiced the cartoon, Batman the Animated Series, and was in Justice League, and he did all of that. Like, that was my Batman. And you and Mom would very well know that was my Batman.
For sure. You had, I don't know.
How many action figures of that fucking Batman?
Dude.
All of
you
them.
had hundreds.
I had all. They're still here. They're in that.
You should
they're in that
look
tub
into,
right
like,
there.
Seeing like you could sell those for like $1 a piece.
They're pieces of shit though. Like I beat the hell out of them. I played with them.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. People will buy those things, dude.
That's true.
But anyway, so yeah, your love for Batman goes way back.
It goes back as far as I can even remember things.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like one of my most prized Christmas gifts I've ever gotten, or birthday gift, I think it was a birthday gift, is the fake comic book that you guys, that Grandma and Grandpa made, that I was a character in.
Yes.
That were like, I never, obviously wasn't drawn or anything, but they were like, Colton, you know, like you got, I was talking to Batman in the book, and I was like, this is fucking sick. I still have that. It's in my room. So it's just, there's Batman right there and Batman right there. And Batman
everywhere.
right there. Like, it's all over the place.
Everywhere.
So, what I said in the TikTok, though, was that I was really late to Christian Bale, Batman. I did not watch those movies when I was younger. The movies I did watch when I was younger, George Clooney, Val Kilmer.
Yeah. Oh, gosh, yeah.
Adam West, even. I remember watching Batman 66 when I was younger. But it was always animated. I never latched on to a live-action Batman. And then I was really late to Christian Bale. It was like 2018, the first time.
A really good job.
Very, very good job.
Yeah.
I love Christian Bale's Batman. Don't get me wrong. Very, very good. But there was always something about it that never clicked for me. Yeah. And then I was watching the Batman, 22 years old, sitting in a movie theater. It was the first Batman movie I ever got to watch in theaters.
Maybe that's part of it.
It is definitely part of it.
Yeah.
And I was sitting there, and you get the opening sequence with the Riddler, and then the score kicks in, and he goes, Thursday, October 31st. And almost instantly, I was like, this is my favorite Batman. I was like, this is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I was like, I am so in right now. And it still holds up, and I'm really excited for the second movie. But, Bruce Wayne had to be my top one.
I love it.
2 first names.
I love it. So you went 2 fictionals, 1, 2.
Yep. Yes, indeed. I feel not less weird, but I genuinely love Bruce Wayne, and I genuinely love Dale Cooper. I can't tell you that I genuinely love Bob Dylan. You know, I don't know Bob Dylan. I know Bruce Wayne, and I know Dale Cooper.
That's an interesting way to put it.
You know, like
I don't love any of those motherfuckers, but I do love Michael Scott.
You see, I do. It's easier to love a fictional character because you know them. Like, there is nothing that happened. There's nothing that happened that you don't know about.
I know Michael Scott doesn't play basketball very well.
Yep.
And he's not very good on, like just being politically correct
in
general.
He's vaguely racist.
Yeah. And he talks about, worrying about having a boner with Phyllis.
Yes.
It's all. But I love that guy.
I love that guy. That's why I'm like, fictionally, I can feel comfortable going, you know what? I love that guy.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know Kendrick Lamar. I don't know Bob Dylan.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah. But so those are my top 5. I've got from 5 to 1. I started the list with George Lucas. That's right. 4 Kendrick Lamar, 3 Bob Dylan, 2 Dale Cooper, and 1 Bruce Wayne.
Mm-hmm. 5 Michael Scott, 4 the Outlaw Jesse James.
Hell yeah.
3 the GOAT MJ. 2 Johnny Cash. 1 Ray Charles.
That's a great fucking list.
Yeah.
I am astonished with Ray Charles going above Johnny Cash, though. I've just always heard more about Johnny Cash from you.
Yeah.
I will say kind of a wash.
1A, 1B, really.
Yeah, I get that. Like,
it's almost like they're 5 levels above Michael Jordan. You know what I mean? Like, there's 1 and 2, and then there's like
then it's this guy.
Space, Michael Jordan.
You were really just filling gaps with 3 through 5.
I really was. I'm probably going to look back at this and be like, a lot like, who the fuck did I pick for the Browns?
Right. No, I'm with it. But that concludes this episode of the Robertsons, and we will be back next week. We're going to do a little wrap-up on Divisional Dons. I'll have the actual numbers for you, everybody, every offense, every defense, every player, and we'll replace whoever we feel we need to replace.
I feel like I'm going to have a lot of replacements.
I think you'll have surprisingly fewer than you think.
Maybe.
I think we did a really good job with most teams, and then there will be maybe 1 per division, maybe 2 per division.
Kevin
max.
Mack cannot be my Browns guy, and I don't even know why I care. Fuck the Browns.
Right, it's the Browns.
Who cares?
There's a
about
reason
the
you
Browns?
landed on Kevin Mack the first time around.
Maybe Amari Cooper.
Is it though?
I know. Maybe Baker Mayfield. Maybe Johnny Manziel.
Is it though?
Tim
So
Couch.
we'll find out next week on the Robertsons here. Whenever my dad settles on which Brown is actually his favorite of all time. There's a teaser for you. If that's not sexy to you, I don't know what is.
That'll get you coming back.
Who's my favorite Brown of all time? Let's talk about
Tune in next time.
Let's talk about the Cleveland Browns. That's promotion right there.
Fucking love it.
But and we'll probably have another top 5 for you. I like the single name idea.
Marketing genius.
That's kind of I like the single name thing.
Yeah,
to build
like-
on the double first name. Beyonce.
Like bounce off that and be like, hey,
Seal,
what's someone that
you know.
went, Bono.
Bono.
See, we can't start now because
Yeah.
this might.
There's only so many of them too.
Yeah, that's not like an
It's not a
infinite
huge
amount,
list.
yeah.
It's definitely not as big a list as the
As
two
the
first
names. No.
But we'd find a way. So that might be the top 5 next week. I don't know. We always kind of just decide every Sunday, and then that's that. But yeah. Then
Either way, it's going to be highly entertaining.
it will be, as you heard here. But yeah, come on back next week. Hit TikTok,
Do it.
follow
Do it.
Penny Bloom Dispatch. I'm trying to transition social media platforms right now.
Yeah, Blue Sky.
Blue Sky.
Blue
Getting
sky,
off. I'm trying to get off
smiling
Twitter
at
as much as I
me.
can because Twitter makes my blood
Sky,
boil, and I've been getting on Blue Sky
smiling at me.
the last 3 days, and I have not gotten mad at social media once, which is crazy.
Yeah, but
It's only a matter of time. The
I
more
know.
people.
I
that
know.
float.
And see, I shouldn't immediately go that way. I should be like, well, yeah, but you're gonna.
But the good thing, and I won't even dive into it. But I am on Blue Sky at Colton Robertson, and Penny Bloom Dispatch is as well. Penny Bloom Dispatch, look it up. That we're there.
Okay. I prefer to think of it as Blueski.
Blueski, that's actually really good. I like.
Yeah,
that.
like I don't no sky at all. Just
I like
Blueski.
the sects
oh
of
Hey-o.
like there was film Twitter and comic book Twitter and
Yeah.
sports Twitter and all this stuff. It's so much cooler with Sky. There's
Ski.
There's film ski, sports ski. It's fun. Comic book ski.
So but you have enjoyed that part of it.
I've
Really?
I had to
How
curate
many-
my algorithm.
What do we think the population is on that bad beat? I
I can actually tell you for sure because and not precisely today, but as of yesterday, they reached 18 million users.
And they've been around for a minute, right?
It's been a little bit. I downloaded the app a month ago, and I've started. I didn't use the app immediately, but
Wasn't
I was
there
like,
one like 4 years ago that people were thinking about going on? to?
Threads, the Instagram counterpart.
Oh, okay.
But it's Instagram and it's Mark Zuckerberg, and it's still like, and Threads, as far as I can tell, has also gotten a decent amount of
Push.
usership. Yeah,
Yeah.
but
18 million. Okay.
yeah, I mean there are people on Twitter with more followers on Twitter than there are
Than there
users,
are users for
on Blue Sky,
for Blue
which
Sky.
does make it feel really small and intimate. Like I see a lot of the same people over and over, and I've curated my algorithm pretty well. It did take a couple days. Like originally, it's just really, really generic, stupid bullshit.
Trying to figure out.
Yeah, like just dumb jokes that you've obviously heard before, and pictures of
That I've
cats,
told.
and and that I've told.
Yeah.
Like
the good stuff.
pictures of cats and a lot of photography and stuff, and it's like, this is really
Classics.
cool. It's classics, but like I'm waiting for my niche. I'm waiting for my people to emerge. My people have emerged. Star Wars Twitter has migrated mostly, like
Nice.
the good parts of Star Wars Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice.
Okay.
It's getting regarded as an echo chamber, but I don't go to social media to get my mind changed, so I don't mind.
Okay. Yeah.
But
Blueski. I'm on it.
Blueski, definitely worth your time. But yeah, Colton Robertson, Penny Bloom Dispatch, Penny Bloom Pod on Twitter if you still want to follow over there. I'm literally only going to be promoting the podcast on Twitter, though. I'm never tweeting there again. I'm not spending time on
No
it.
engagement.
If I get a notification that I need to address, I will, but I'm not going to look at it.
I'm only going to get on it tonight to just get mad about the Chiefs again.
That's why Blue Sky is beautiful.
Will Blueski avoid that for me?
I don't know. There's always going to be animosity with sports. You're going to find Bills fans. I found Bengals fans immediately. They are so strong. They are out there, and it sucks.
With their negative energy.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Goddamn negativity.
But goddamn negativity. But yeah, Blue Sky. That's the place to be right now.
Unprofessional bullshit.
Unprofessional bullshit. I get to watch the Lord of the Rings movie tonight. Fun fact. Because we are going to be covering the
It's an
Lord of the Rings
interesting thing to
movies on
brag
the
about.
Sentimentalists. We're covering the Lord of the Rings trilogy on the Sentimentalists here in a couple weeks.
Okay.
In the meantime, we're doing Indiana Jones. So we've got The Last Crusade coming this Friday, which has Sean Connery and Harrison Ford. It's a good combo.
Connery.
And then Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, Dial of Destiny the weeks after that. And then Fellowship of the Ring. The first Lord of the Rings movie is going to be the second Friday of December.
Have you watched any of the Rings?
I watched the first one, and I do quite enjoy the first one. But
interesting.
I've read all of them. I had to read all of them. I don't know if I've told you that. My textbooks in my freshman year English course at Mizzou were Lord of the Rings.
And it's kind of like
That guy has been fired.
Yeah, you're stealing money to be like, here's what we're going to do for this curriculum.
Yeah.
Read
Lord of the Rings. I was like, I'm paying for this.
And after this, go to Disney World.
Yeah. Like, I'm
Isn't there a
paying for
Lord of
this.
the Rings?
They're not Disney, so no. There's no Lord of the Rings park or anything.
Name something that might be Disney. That would be
That would have a park.
Phantasm. No, it was part of like maybe Universal. No, which is
Harry Potter. Harry Potter has a road. Yes, they have.
I always get those fucking.
They have
crossed
Hogwarts
out.
Alley at like Universal Studios or
Yes.
something. Yes, which is cool as fuck. By the way, I'm not even a huge fan of the Harry Potter movies, but
Have
like,
you watched any of those?
I've watched all of those. I've watched all of them once, and that was about
put
6
them
years ago.
totally together. If you were to say Lord of the Rings, I would think Harry Potter, and if you were to say Harry Potter, I would think Lord of the Rings, and that's not fair. That's more me being
Fantasy.
a dumb fuck.
Yeah. Harry Potter is nowhere near as good as Lord of the Rings. There's not a single Harry Potter movie that's as good as the one Lord of the Rings
Well,
movie.
fuck Harry Potter then.
I don't like Harry Potter.
You watched all of them though.
I did because I had to know. I had to know what's the big fucking
Like, am
deal.
I sure?
One of them is
Let me
pretty
watch
good.
the next one. Yep, hate it.
I didn't hate any of them. They were all fine. You know, like I don't like J.K. Rowling. That's really my beef. I don't like the author of the books of Harry Potter.
But the children love the books.
The actors in Harry Potter are really cool, though. I like Daniel Radcliffe a lot. Played Weird Al in that Weird Al movie.
The Weird Al biopic.
It's called Weird. The Al Yankovic story.
Couldn't think of a better title for it.
That's got to be it. Yeah, so Lord of the Rings, in my opinion, miles better, both book and movie,
Okay.
than Harry Potter. I've only read one of the Harry Potter books, too, and that was even
I'm
longer
not even
ago
going to
than
bother
the
with
movies.
HP then. I'm going to call it HP,
Mm-hmm.
and we're going to...
Lord of the Rings, actually, you won't have... You don't get into Lord of the Rings. You won't get into Lord of the
I
Rings.
probably won't, but I'll probably seek out Lord of the Rings opinions on Blue Sky.
Rings of Power caught your attention, though. I remember that.
Yeah. Just enough. Like it was like, is this like a Game of Thrones? Because Game of Thrones is a little
It's
fantastical,
definitely fantasy.
right? Yeah.
Lord of the Rings, I think that Game of Thrones focuses a little bit more on the politics and the battles and stuff early on, which allows you to accept the fantasy stuff later on. You know what I'm saying? Like, and the fantasy stuff that they do introduce early on is like, whoa, she's got dragons. That's cool.
Yeah.
And that's kind of all the fantasy that's in the show for like years. And the White Walkers.
Dragons are pretty badass.
Dragons are fucking cool.
But
though.
you know what? I never realized how much I fucking thought dragons were awesome until I watched.
Until you watch Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
There's a dragon in the first Lord of the Rings movie.
Oh.
Yeah. Lord of the Rings fans are probably like, "Shut the fuck up!" No, there's not.
Yeah,
it's
that
not
dragon
actually
sucks.
It's not a dragon. It's not a dragon. It looks like a fucking walks like a dragon, talks like a dragon.
Does
It's a
it breathe
fucking dragon.
fire though?
Yeah.
Okay, then it's a fucking
Motherfucker's
dragon.
a
What makes
dragon.
it not a dragon?
Whatever it's called in universe.
God. What are we doing? Where were we?
I'm signing off because Lord of the Rings. We're covering Lord of the Rings in a couple weeks on the Sentimentalist. That was the point. Fulcrum, a Star Wars podcast, getting close to the end of Rebels Season 2. We actually already finished our coverage of it. They just need to release. Then we're going to be covering Skeleton Crew as it comes out through December and January. And, yeah, that's that. We're also doing Death by Television. The Penguin just ended, like I said earlier.
Yeah, I need to watch that.
So good.
I've heard
You will absolutely
I've heard
like
so
it.
many good things.
Even if you don't really remember what happened in the Batman, which I know you watched, but you don't seem to remember watching. Because I talked to you about the Penguin for a couple minutes, and you were like, "Did I ever watch that?" And I was like, "I know for a fact you did," because I sat here and watched it with you for like an hour
you'll
and a
be
half.
47 one of these days.
Yeah. But you'll like the Penguin. But we just covered that, so if you do want to watch the Penguin, you can listen to us alongside it. It's a lot of fun.
What's the Penguin?
What is the Penguin?
I'm just kidding.
I was like, do I need to dive into that now?
Forgot again.
Colin Farrell, Oz.
Yeah.
Done up in heavy makeup and all that.
He's so sexy you can't even be ugly.
Yeah, that's
Colin Farrell.
100% true.
Yeah.
Like watching, he
just oozes
sexual
sexy.
charisma.
Yeah, man, that dude.
He loses it bad. By the end of the show, you're like, oh, I fucking hate this guy.
Oh,
He's awful.
man.
He is scum of the earth, and that's good stuff. That's good TV.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we covered that in full. We are going to cover Dune Prophecy, which starts tonight, actually. Cool.
Maybe.
But we're going to do that in 3 episode chunks. It's only going to be 6 episodes, so we're going to cover it after the first 3 and then at the end of the show because we don't feel like committing to the week-to-week thing. But yeah, so that's everything we got going on. Sorry for the long-winded tangents today, but that's just kind of fun. I like doing it that way.
I've enjoyed this.
Yeah, I like. It reminded me of the early days of the podcast. What me and Tavares used to do.
Yeah.
We'd have like 3 fucking topics and we'd talk for 2 fucking hours about random shit that vaguely.
Because it does just lead into.
Yeah,
other,
it does. Conversations bleed. That's how
Yeah.
conversations work. It's okay. That's why I never feel bad about it. I will cut out some parts of it, but not.
Yeah, I said some bad things. You're gonna need to leave that in.
That's
though.
funny.
This part
Yeah,
right
I
here,
will leave that in.
Yeah, I said some
funny.
bad stuff, and I don't mean bad like, you'd be offended. It was just pointless shit.
Yeah.
Kind of like now.
A little bit similar, but this. There was a 6-minute stretch where I was looking at my phone counting things. So
That's true.
yeah,
You gotta
that has to go.
Yeah. You were counting things that was like past content. Too.
Yeah, exactly. Like I should already know that.
Yeah.
if it actually mattered, I would have kept account as we did it.
Correct.
If I was responsible, but it doesn't matter. It's getting cut. You don't even know what I'm talking about now.
Yeah. So
But yeah. So we'll be back next week. I was Colton Robertson. I was joined by my father, Justin Robertson. Thanks, pops.
thanks for having me. I love you.
I
Bob.
love you too. Remember, peace, love, and bloom, and we'll have another.
Let's do it again.
We'll do it again sometime
Next week.
next week, baby.
Tune in.
Bye.
Tokyo.